Hey guys, welcome back to Pure Perspectives. Gary Pierce here in Texas with Pure Funding. I got my man Clark Alexander in Northern California. We're going to talk about some really interesting, a really interesting product that we have available. But first things first, if you are following this channel and you're enjoying the content, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button. Hit the share button, drop a comment below if you have questions. We'd love to talk to you about your mortgage plan, or just your general feedback on the content is always appreciated. So let's get started, Clark.
Yep.
Buy before you sell. So we're gonna get into who does this program target and why.
Yeah, good question. So basically, the way to think about this program is it allows you to access the equity in your current property to use as a
Okay.
down payment of your new property. So let's just say that
Right.
without this program, you're living in a house, you need to make a move. You typically, if you can't carry both, you're having to move out, move into a
Sure.
rental, get your new place closed, move in, get the other place sold, right? There's a lot of
Right.
steps, and every one of those steps has significant cost associated with it. What this does is basically we work with a lender that says, hey, let's evaluate the value of that property. Let's understand what their current mortgage is on that property, and let's give them a
Right.
number that they can access. So in essence, what it's doing is it's just using that equity as almost a second lien on the property. Now,
Right.
when you go buy your new home, that mortgage that you have is not on your debt to income, which can be a limiting factor. In most
Sure.
cases, people can't carry both mortgages. This
Right.
allows you to eliminate the existing home and allows you to go in and make offers on your new home contingency free, right? Not
Got it.
contingent on the property selling. So it just frees you up. It frees you up
Mm-hmm.
to look at the home, feel confident making an offer. And
Mm-hmm.
for sellers, they know you're coming in contingency free. They're comfortable accepting those offers. So it's a pretty slick program.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's get into kind of the a little bit more detail of the benefits. I know you talked about the contingency free, that sort of
Yep.
thing. Or actually not the benefits, but let's get into maybe more of the process, right?
Sure.
Like what levers are going to get pulled here.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is they come in, they do a visual walkthrough on your property. They just want to get an idea of like they have a system that will tell them what the market says the home's worth. They want a visual inspection. Once they give that, they give you your number. This is the number that we'd be willing to free up, right? So you go through that process,
Hmm.
and you're allowed to submit competitive offers. Now, the big thing here is you're receiving a guaranteed purchase,
Hmm.
right? So you are basically they do the valuation of your property. They're going to say this is the number. They're going to give you the equity that they've agreed to, and then there's a number that they're a purchase price guarantee. If
Hmm.
the house has not sold by 150 days, it's going to be sold. They're going to buy it, and they will
Hmm.
settle the fees and everything, and you'll receive everything that's due to you. So that's the other real big benefit, other than the DTI
Right.
eliminator, is you're getting a guaranteed purchase price. Which in this market, if you've heard our market updates, houses are sitting longer, so it's a bit of a
Right.
security blanket to say, look, the tail end of this, it's going to end at 150 days. So
Right.
that's a very unique feature that I think is worth its weight in gold.
And then if the market does, in that time frame, let's say you get an offer, $50,000 over that purchase price
Yep.
guarantee, is that money guaranteed to the owner at that point as well?
Yes. Yeah. Good question. So
Awesome.
basically, all that's owed to kind of the lender that's going to give you the equity is their compensation, their fee,
Hmm.
and the percentage of the sales value. Whether that sales value is up, it's not going to be below because they've given you a purchase price guarantee. So if
Yep.
it goes up, that money comes back to you.
Got it. And in terms of time, this
Mhm.
is this like a normal 30-day loan process, or is this a
Yeah.
condensed, like what's the time
Yeah.
frame on something like this?
Yeah, the ones we've been through, they move pretty fast. They get in, they get an evaluation. The nice thing is it's based on an AVM. It's an
Yep.
automated valuation tool that gives them a
Hmm.
number. The visual inspection just makes sure that the house is in good
Sure.
standing.
Yep.
Basically, it's
Sure.
it's it's good. So they can turn that around pretty darn quickly. I would say in the first
That's
few
awesome.
days, you're going to know your number. You're going to have the number for the equity that's going to be released, and you get the paperwork signed, and suddenly you're in a situation where you're working with your buyer's agent, and I would imagine you're probably going to work with that agent to sell your existing home.
Right.
Now you've got a program. You're like, we're free to go. We can make contingency-free offers, and our house is going to be ready to list.
Yeah. And in this case, you're talking get the buy before you sell program in place,
Yep.
extract the equity, and purchase a new home within 30
Yep.
days. Like, so this
Within
is all
30 days.
condensed in it. Yeah. So within a normal process. So we're not adding
Yeah.
30 days onto the whole buying process. So this is a ton of benefits, but the obvious is removing the debt to income. What I'm hearing you say,
Yep.
in carrying the burden of two properties at the same time in your debt to income, the speed in which you get access to that equity,
Yep.
and then 3 is your the strength in your offer on your next purchase.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Awesome.
said it well. And I think that they're adding more steps. I mean, there's definitely more steps involved in this than a traditional 30-day lock loan, but these guys, they move fast. Like they let technology work, and it's pretty clean. And it's a pretty slick, especially in high price markets like I'm in. And the thought of moving twice and rental, and I mean, the numbers get big pretty fast.
Got it. So if I'm a seller or I'm a listing agent, how do I get this ball started? This sounds like something, if I'm a real estate agent, that I want to get moving on this. How do I get this in front of my client, and B, like what are the things we need to get in place in our plan to get started?
Yeah, I think the basis is like not overwhelm the realtor with a ton of information, just the facts. We're going to free up equity. That equity is going to be available. So now you're working with these buyers. It's a contingency free. We handle everything on the back end. There are a lot of questions. It's fairly new to some realtors. They're like, wait, how is this money? Is this going to be a problem? Is this going to be a hiccup? We get caught up in day 25 of the loan process. So we've got to explain kind of how it works, but we try not to overwhelm them. It's a clean process. It frees you up to do more. And what I talk to realtors for is like, hey, you want an attractive tool to get a buy and a sell out of a deal. This is pretty slick, right? You're doing the buy side deal. Meanwhile, you're the listing agent on the outgoing property. I'm not saying it's going to guarantee both sides of the deal, but it's certainly a pretty compelling argument to say, hey, why would I work with two realtors on this? I can do my purchase and sell with the same person.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point. Clark, thanks for sitting down and talking through this. I think this is a great tool for realtors to have in their toolbox, as well as potential sellers that are struggling with the idea of like, hey, how do I make this happen? How do I access my equity? How do I get into that, my next home with not having to include multiple moves, storage units, all the things that go with that. So I think it's a really exciting tool.
And to know you're going to sell your house, right? You're not going to get caught.
Yeah.
It's a big
100%.
thing.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
If you got any questions about this, your mortgage plan, drop some comments in the DM. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll be in touch soon, and look forward to the next show.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks.